So this one is going to be exciting. It's our regional economic impacts of partnerships in space, and I have a feeling it's going to be out of this world. That was my laugh reel. I'm working hard on these guys. Come on, you got to help me. First, I'd like to welcome Mr. David Pierce. He's the director of NASA Wallops Flight Facility. Mr. Jeff Reddish, the Chief of Range and Mission Management Office. And Mr. Brian Hall, the project manager for the Small Satellite and Special Projects Office. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank them for being here. We learned the hard way. This clicker works. Okay. So I'm going to let these gentlemen go ahead and get started on some exciting stuff.
Great. Thank you very much, Zach. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the nearly 2,000 employees at Wallops Flight Facility, it's our honor and privilege to be with you here today. Thanks to Bill Chambers and the Chamber for inviting us to speak today. Here you see a picture of our island and our launch facility that is growing. With this aerial shot of the base, it includes about 6,000 acres. It's home to the most burgeoning launch facility in the country. We're one of only 4 orbital launch facilities in the country: Alaska, California, Florida, and Wallops. And we're very proud to service both low Earth orbit and the ability to go to the moon and on to Mars. The future at Wallops is extremely bright, and we're really proud to be a part of our community on Delmarva and to help develop, train, inspire that next generation of scientists and engineers that want to live in Delmarva, as we say, work in space, live on the shore. So with that, I want to just walk you through this and then turn it over to my colleagues. Jeff Reddish, who is a lifelong Delmarvan from Wycomico County and is very best at launching things from all over the world. And then Brian Hall, who's down there, who is, without a doubt, our very best project manager at NASA Wallops. So if you have a really bad project, you want to call Brian. He's a firefighter and a half. So, and I don't think he appreciates me half as much when I call him to the office. Anyway, what you're seeing here is about $1.2 billion in assets, investments from the federal government as well as the Commonwealth of Virginia and our commercial partners. The idea here is that we are about strategic investments and working with our partners to make key infrastructure investments that are going to advance launches and access to space. We also had a banner year in 2022. We launched over 27 missions with over 95% success, with no mishaps, in support of science, in support of our nation, and in support of technology investment and technology development as we launched Artemis and are out past the moon and working on missions, spacecraft that will go to Mars. So really proud of all the efforts that we're doing. We supported over 3,000 launch range events under Jeff's leadership, working with the Navy on fleet carrier exercises where we would launch rockets off the beach, simulating missiles going toward ships and to support our warfighters in knocking those rockets down. So we work arm in arm with our Department of Defense and our warfighters to help ensure the security of the United States. We also supported a number of hypersonics tests, and that we'll tell you a little bit about. That's a growing market for us at Wallops in the coming years. And not least of which, we promoted STEM across our regional schools here on the shore, whether at University of Maryland Eastern Shore Community College, where we're providing hands-on opportunities for students here, as well as across the country. We had student sounding rocket missions where students from Hawaii or all the way to Puerto Rico were designing, building, testing, and flying their own experiment. and inspiring them want to take up a career in space, and hopefully one day come to work at Wallops. Overall, the hiring at Rocket Lab continues very briskly. We have over $250 million in new partnership agreements that we signed this year. So again, the future looks bright for Wallops. We're a unique national asset. We like to say that we support NASA and the nation. So we're all about supporting NASA's science, technology, exploration, aeronautics, but we're also here to support the nation with developing advanced rockets, to support our intel community with rapid and assured access to space. We are known across the country for providing agile, low-cost flight and launch range services to meet NASA, Department of Defense, the commercial sector, which of course is the growing market at Wallops. And we provide access to space whether you're in Norway, at the North Pole, or as we're getting ready to right now, launch balloons from Antarctica. So we go where the science is. We're unique in the sense that we can take and build up a range to launch something all over the world. That's a completely unique capability only known at Wallops. The images you see here are a Minotaur launch where we supported the National Reconnaissance Office. Then also Rocket Lab, the Electron launch that we're really excited to see this month. We're going to be launching the very first Rocket Lab mission from Wallops. And with that, Jeff and Brian will tell you a little bit about what you can expect to see from us in 2023, which is really exciting. And then, of course, on the far right, you see a cargo resupply mission to the International Space Station. As you know, we've had humans attended International Space Station for over 27 years. We're very proud at Wallops that for the last 13 years, we've been providing resupply to support our astronauts. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, they had fresh Thanksgiving dinner that was brought through Wallops and launched to the space station. We will have our next launch in the April timeframe. So really excited about what's going on in space from Wallops. And this, I want to just play a little video. Thank you. It's just a snapshot of what we're up to in service to the American people, and we're so proud to be a part of the Delmarva community as we do this. Our strategic goals for the next 5 years to grow our portfolio very strategically is one, to advance our robust and innovative suborbital and special orbital capabilities. This is what we refer to as our day job. We are known for working with scientists from across the country to take their nascent technologies and concepts out of the lab and fly them for the first time. We take them where the science is, and as part of that, we're training graduate students to become scientists. As that technology gets developed, it becomes part of a satellite that the United States creates. So you don't fly it for the first time on orbit, right? It's done many times on our suborbital platforms, thus reducing the cost risk as well as the technology risk of flying in space. And once it's on orbit, Wallops comes back behind and we do calibration validation of those satellite instruments. There's over 40 NASA satellites and over 20 NOAA satellites on orbit. And Wallops plays a role in doing calibration validation to make sure that that data is accurate. So that's what we're doing when we're extending our capabilities. But we're not just launching rockets and balloons, we're also building and launching small satellites and payloads that will go to the International Space Station. In 2021, we had 48 active partnership agreements between other agencies, the Department of Defense, and commercial entities, totaling over $200 million. This year, we now have 56 agreements, over $250 million in reimbursable work. This is in addition to the $335 million that were funded by NASA. So as you can see, we're growing our portfolio about 15 to 17% a year. Part of what we do is, of course, we are inspiring the next generation of scientists and engineers. We want to train that local student population to where they want to come and work at Wallops. We're really proud of the fact that we were partnering with Junior Achievement, and we have supported from the whole Wallops complex over the last few years, Junior Achievement Inspire. These are pictures from this past March where we were presenting to over 3,500 eighth graders at a time on Delmarva where they're going to make the decision in high school what kind of career path they want to follow. So we're really proud of that capability that we bring to the table to inspire youth to want to take up STEM careers. We're known as the premier provider of suborbital and special orbital platforms. So we don't build James Webb. We're very proud that we're part of the organization at NASA Goddard over in Greenbelt, Maryland, that built James Webb. It's an $11 billion satellite that's working flawlessly. But we build the other end. We build the small stuff, and we take stuff out of the lab, and we help transform that to become part of the satellites later. And so we do it with all of these platforms. And of course, Jeff is going to tell you a little bit about the airfield and the launch range. But it's a growing portfolio of missions, about $250 million. From a small satellite perspective, we are currently building 2 satellites that are going to go on the International Space Station. And we're building deployers of multiple small satellites so that you can build a constellation of small satellites, not big satellites, but a lot, like a string of pearls, of small satellites that are going to take data, whether you're in deep space, around the sun, or around the Earth. And that's a completely innovative capability, and we're doing it at Wallops. I want to talk a little bit about what we're looking forward to in 2023. I talked about 2022 being a banner year. This is going to be a record year, and I don't want to steal your thunder. I know you accuse me of that often, but anyway, this is just a snapshot of what we're going to be doing in 2023. In addition to the launches that they're going to tell you about, we're going to launch about 45 suborbital sound rocket and balloon missions from all over the world with science. We're going to fly over 500 hours doing the most advanced study of snow this winter from Delmarva that's been done in 30 years. And we're developing, at the direction of the Congress, Heliophysics Space Technology Office. They wanted NASA to take up developing technologies, mature them, and then be able to fly them on satellites to study the sun. And NASA selected Wallops to lead that effort. So we're really proud about winning that proposal. And in addition to that, we're working with the warfighter to expand the capability. As you know, there's a lot of bad actors out there, and they're working in hypersonics. So these are rockets that fly upwards of 8 times the speed of sound. And the United States has found itself behind from that technology. Well, Wallops is going to be one of those places where we're going to help ensure that the United States develops those systems to help protect us. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend Brian Hall, who's going to tell you about this enabling, game-changing technology that we developed at Wallops to advance accurate and responsive access to space. Brian?
Thanks, Dave, for that great intro. Hopefully I can follow suit here. So Dave talked about 2023 being a banner year for Wallops, and part of the enabling of that is the NASA Autonomous Flight Termination Unit, a project we're going to talk about briefly here, status here. So what is NAV2? NAV2 is a game-changing command and control capability for launch vehicle providers. This is a technology that NASA is developing to turn over to industry through our tech transfer processes, really to foster growth in the industry, get companies to their initial launch capability sooner, and some of these smaller, lower-cost emerging capabilities to really give them a good foothold in the industry and a stepping stone to develop their vehicles. So this is a system that will be used by launch vehicle providers and launch ranges, as it is a public safety system. NAV2 replaces the traditional systems that are used today, conventional command flight termination systems. They utilize a man-in-the-loop system where we have a range safety officer on the ground during launch operations, taking data products from the vehicle and ground support systems to actually monitor the performance of the vehicle and determine in real time whether the vehicle is safe to continue flight. If they determine it's not, they have to take action, and that goes through a series of range systems to command determination up to the launch vehicle. So the NAV2 technology takes all of that human effort in those ground systems and puts it on the launch vehicle. So it provides that real-time execution of flight safety, replacing that monitoring that the range safety officer is doing, replacing those ground systems. So all of this results in a more efficient process, and for launch operations, we're estimating about a 30% reduction in cost. So again, it's going to help all of the launch industry, but certainly these smaller launch vehicle providers in the development of their launch vehicles, but also reduction of their routine cost. So the AFTS system as a whole, that whole design and capability, is really a key element of the range of the future concept that's being worked by NASA and our other federal range partners. It's also a requirement by the Department of Defense that their federal ranges will go to this type of autonomous flight safety system in 2025. So NAV2 is a great tool for the launch industry, a great tool for NASA, but certainly with our partners in the Space Force as well. NAV2, I've talked about this already, really expanding those launch capabilities. That's why they're so exciting. We're seeing the fruits of that here coming up in the next few weeks. Rocket Lab is going to be the first company to use this technology. We have several others that have actually gone through the process to obtain it through our technology transfer process. But Rocket Lab will be the first end user. So we're very excited about that and the other opportunities this can provide in the industry. I mentioned that this is a tech transfer. NASA's developing this to deliver out to industry. So far, 18 companies have gone through the process to request the products from NASA. Of those 18, 9 have actually received the product now. And of those that have received it, we have 5 of the 12 venture class launch vehicle providers actually have requested it. 4 have it in hand right now. So lots of interest across the launch vehicle community for the NAV2 product. We're excited to see this first delivery and excited to see the growth in the industry. So on this next slide, you can see in the upper left and in the middle, Dave already showed images of the Rocket Lab Electron launch vehicle on the pad at Wallops. On the right-hand side is Rocket Lab's integration facility that's adjacent to Wallops in the research park. Right now in that facility is the first Electron launch vehicle and the spacecraft. They're going through the final preparations for integration for this December launch. So we're very excited to have that activity in the Rocket Lab launch facility and research park and the subsequent launch coming up. So these past few months, we've been working very closely with Rocket Lab with their range safety deliverables in preparation for this first launch. And as I mentioned, Rocket Lab is the first end user of NAV2. They're taking NAV2, they have some minor customizations that they need to do to make it compatible with their exact launch vehicle configuration. So we have been working with them very closely to enable the certification of their unique application of NAV2. We've also been working very closely. Jeff's teams have been leading interaction with Rocket Lab and Virginia Space to prepare all the range systems and all the range safety deliverables for this first launch. The first launch, the Starlink mission, does have 3 satellites on it. They are from a company that's based out of Virginia, Hawkeye 360. So in addition to the first launch, I think we're going to see a lot of activity from the Electron launch vehicle and rocket lab from Wallace over the coming year, looking at this as a sustained capability. So we have this launch in December. Wallace has signed a launch services agreement with Virginia Space for a Capella mission, which will be the second rocket lab mission early next year. Also, it got announced on the 23rd of November. NASA has selected Rocket Lab for the Tropics missions. So that'll be 2 satellites in the May, June, July timeframe of this year. So right now we have 4 missions on the books for Electron over the next 6 months or so. We are estimating a few more next year. So I think the Electron cadence is going to pick up very quickly, and that is going to be sustained business at Wallace. So looking very much forward to that. Here's this video of the launch. And this is actually the Rocket Lab's Launch Complex 1 in Ikea, New Zealand. The complex at Wallace is Launch Complex 2. Jeff, the range guys.
Well, good morning. I'm sitting on this panel and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to look at the crowd and smile or look at Dave. It's kind of like, well,
You should try being up here for 4 hours, Jeff.
I'm glad to be here. I've talked a few times this year, and I guess information got back to Dave that I didn't stay on track. So look what Dave gave me. The 2 sheets that I got to stay on track. I usually get off tangent and talk, but Dave made sure that I was going to stay on track today. So I've got plenty of stuff here to talk to. So Wallace is very unique. Actually, it is the only, here's a piece of knowledge for you. It's the only NASA-owned launch range in the world, right? So you see the KSC, many people think KSC is owned by NASA, but it's not. It's an Air Force range, and we lease there and we launch out of KSC. So the bigger missions go out of KSC, the smaller missions go out of Wallace for the most part. So that's a not many people know that, and really, I worked there many years without even knowing that. So that's a great piece of knowledge to take. It's been there a long time. Before it was NASA, it was a part of Langley and part of the Navy. So it's gone through a couple durations of ownership there. And now we've been there for quite a while and have built up quite a complex there. So very proud of it. As you see on this chart, we have a great capability at Wallace. We are unique at Wallace because we can take our launch ranges all over the world. So we have these mobile systems. Not only do we have a fixed system at Wallace and we can launch out of Wallace, we also have a mobile system where we can take all our equipment mobilely to anywhere in the world. We just came from Australia. We built a complex in Australia, took our mobile equipment out there. And the reason we go all over the world is because scientists want to go all over the world to find their science. So we have to meet the mission of NASA is the science, right? So when people come and universities and professors and come to us and say, hey, we'd really like to go here to do this science, we say, okay, and we do a deal. They sign a deal with it, and we do cost estimates, and we have to talk to the different countries and get country agreements. So we can go all over the world. We've been to Australia, Puerto Rico. We go to we've got sites in Alaska. Antarctica, we launched balloons out of Antarctica, so I don't think there's a country we probably have not been to that we haven't launched for the most part. It's been very active. We're very active with the mobile launch platform. And if you see at the lower left, we have a downrange site. So when we launch rockets out of Wallace, we can only track for so far, and then if you're looking at the rocket, Wallace starts looking at the plume of it, and it's hard to track when you see when the plume coming out of the rocket. So we have to have a downrange site or a side tracking site. So this site in the lower right is Bermuda. So we have a launch downrange site in Bermuda, and we have a hard time getting volunteers to go to Bermuda to help us track these rockets. So anyway, Bermuda is a downrange site we have, and we also have a downrange site in Coquina, North Carolina, and you know, that's not a bad spot to go to. So volunteers are high on Coquina or Bermuda. It's like when we say, hey, we got a mission, we need Bermuda track, we got about 150 hands up, hey, I'll go help you with that one. So anyway, we're very unique because we are all over the world. We're small where we're located, but we're all over the world, and we support all over the world. We have a great mission. Not only do we support NASA, which is our #1 mission, right? We support the DoD. Commercial, as Dave said, is growing large, and in the future, it is going to grow larger. So, let's see. This is our infrastructure. Right now, this, as you can see on the left-hand side, that is our Salisbury Bridge going to Wallace. So our launch range is about 10 miles from our main base. So we have a main base where everybody sits on the main base. We have a small contingent that sits on the island. We have Navy tenants on the island that have Aegis systems there. But this bridge is the only access to our island and to our launch range. Well, that bridge was built in about 1958 or 59, and it's needing repairs and upgrades. So we've got a big capital budget in place to replace that bridge and put a modern bridge across there. So that should happen in the next 2 or 3 years, I think, right, Dave? So that will, not only is that great for us, but it opens up so that we can take heavier stuff across the bridge. We're very limited with that bridge because we can only take certain weight across that bridge, and if it was heavier, we had to think of a different way to get things over there. Or, you know, one company created this monstrosity of a trailer that distributed the weight very well such that it could get over the bridge, because if it was on a standard trailer, it would never be able to, it would collapse the bridge. So a lot of issues are being solved by this new bridge that's coming in at Wallace. This is our profile of upcoming missions. So if you look on the scale on the left, that's the number of missions. If you look at the bottom, that's the years. So as we go out, we see our mission profile going up significantly. And Dave talked to it. We've got sounding rocket missions. That is a NASA mission that we always do. We do about 6 or 10 of them out of Wallace a year, and we do the majority of them across the world during the year. So we probably launch about 25 sounding rockets a year. 6 or 8 of them go out of Wallace, and the rest of them go either to White Sands, New Mexico, or somewhere that we've got a campaign set up for the scientists. Commercial Antares, we launch Antares usually 2 times a year. So that's a very, very big mainstay for us. That's our resupply to the space station. And then we've got all these commercial companies and DoD companies coming in here. We're kind of like this jewel that people have found. We're kind of in a closet for a while, and we've got this great asset now that people are starting to understand at Wallace. And so we're getting a lot of customer interest coming into Wallace now. And you can see in the next 10 years, we're going to significantly expand. Our forecast is that we're going to go from about 15 or 20 missions a year to about 50 missions a year. So that's a significant change to us. And not only is it significant with respect to being able to accommodate that, but the range has to upgrade. So in the next 5 years, the range has got to really change their paradigm on how we support. With the missions at 5 to 10 or 15 a year, we can space them out. We can go between launches, 10 days between launches, so we can get one launch done, bring the other one on, and do it. With this kind of profile of upscale, we're never going to be able to do that. So we're looking at different ways to become effective and efficient and really turning these missions around within days as opposed to weeks. So that's an initiative we're doing now. We're trying to figure that out. We've got a lot of bottlenecks where it's one, you've got to cover just one particular piece of equipment, and everybody needs that equipment, so you got to feed one project first, get them out of the way, and bring another one. What we've got to do is find parallel paths to be able to pull all that time frame in, so we can do pre-launch mission checks early and compare, simultaneously, so we can do testing simultaneously with multiple vehicles on the pad. That's where we're looking, and that's what we're going to have to do when we try to meet this cadence that this upstart of missions that are just going to significantly take off on us. This is the Antares, kind of talked to that a little bit. That's 2 times a year. Interesting about Antares, Antares is going to go away for about a year and a half. They're going to get a new first stage motor. And that whole first stage and motors are going to be redone by an American company. Interesting about Antares is the motors now are built by the Russians and the Ukrainians. Well, there's some conflicts between the Russians and Ukraine right now, so they can't get parts or anything else. So they contracted with an American company called Firefly, which is also a launch company that is very interested in coming to Wallace, but they contracted in partnership with Firefly to build the first stage. So they're going to be down for about a year and a half. Now, the resupply that they go to the space station with, they're going to go to the KSC with and fly off Elon Musk SpaceX for 3 times. And they're going to, once they get their upgraded first stage done, they'll come back to Wallace and resume for 2 times a year. Rocket Lab, Neutron, Rocket Lab with Electron, we've been talking about Electron, that's for small launch or payload. So it takes a small weight to, I don't know what the weight is, what is it? 500 pounds is what Electron does, the maximum weight to, but they're also developing a new neutron rocket that's a medium class, which is a Delta II class, which takes thousands of pounds to orbit. So that's in the works right now. If you see upper right, there's a pad that's been built right outside our base, and they're going to actually put another integration control facility right there. So that's underway. You can see the concrete being poured right now. That's going to be a huge facility, as you can kind of see on the upper left what it's going to look like. And this rocket is going to be very much like SpaceX, which I know everybody's seen SpaceX return their first stage back to the ground. This one's going to do the same thing, and what we're going to have to do for the time being is put a barge out in front of Wallace and make that barge the return location. And once they actually verify and certify that it's good and it's valid and it works, we'll have a space on the land, but we've got to take it off the coast for a while for its return. As did Elon. Elon had barges out in the water for his return until he started proving that it worked. So, and I don't know if you remember, but some of those didn't work. The thing fell down and things went in the ocean. So he had a little bit of problem, but it's perfect now. I don't know if you saw the one that was really cool. We had 2 engines coming down at the same time. I don't know if anybody saw, but you should Google that. It was really cool watching two of his engines coming down and returning. So. I think that's all I got. I would like to say one last thing, just from an educational standpoint, Wallace, and Dave touched on it, but Wallace is a great place to work. I mean, I enjoy going to work every day because it's always new, it's always diverse and dynamic, but the great thing about Wallace is the project managers can go through projects multiple times. Our projects are about 2 or 3 years long, so you go through a whole life cycle of projects at Wallace, whereas if you worked on a JWST or a JW Webb telescope, that probably encompassed many people's careers, right? So they worked one mission. But the great thing about Wallace is these missions are quick and you just turn around. So we got project managers that have worked, I've worked hundreds of missions over my career, and it's like you see from the start, you propose, and you see it launch, and you see the end of the project. So those are great experiences that you have that many people don't see in the industry because they've gone so long with one project. So, and the other benefit for Wallace, and I'll close with this one, is that we've got multiple platforms at Wallace. As Dave was saying, we have airplanes, we have balloons, we have sound rockets, and a scientist will come in and use the lowest cost platform, which would be the airplane first, right? Then the balloon, and just build their science up and prove their science in a low-cost method. All that can be done at Wallace before they put it on a orbital mission. So we have all the platforms to support that increased maturity of equipment and instrumentation. So Wallace is a great asset for the nation as well. So I'll close with that. Thank you very much for listening to me.
And you, anything else, guys? All right, let's give them all a round of applause. And I don't know about you, I can't help but notice that when we had the economic development and the tourism folks up here, they went over. And when we put 3 scientists up here, they finished 5 minutes early. So we appreciate you for everything you do. Before I let you guys launch for break, I just want to make a couple of announcements. If you haven't followed Miss Marilyn yet on Facebook and contributed to her campaign, please do so. She's also on Instagram, Miss America MD. And thanks again to our panel. We appreciate your time. I think I finally figured out what I want to be when I grow up. It's a rocket man burning out his fuse up here alone. That means you guys got to get off the stage. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.